Hello, good evening, and welcome back to SLS action. We're up to game week 26. We'll start off by just having a look at the fixtures. So in the Premier League division, we have Antrim vs Ballycastle, Portrush vs Glebe, Samba FC vs Shillelaghs, The Draft vs BT Belfast, and WC Stout vs GPR. Quick look at the table. Belfast still top of the league, 3 points ahead of Portrush, but did drop points last time out. The Draft 5 points back, and GPR a further point back, but with a game in hand, as do Samba, who are kind of the best of the rest at the moment. Glebe still bottom of the league, but have had a couple of promising results lately. 10 points behind Shillelaghs in that relegation playoff spot. Across to the first division, we've got Cookstown, the Updraft and Drumore, all with away games against Coleraine, Distillery and Glenavon respectively. Quick look at the table there. Drumore and the Updraft drew last time out 3-3 in a humdinger with a late equaliser from Meadow, meaning that Cookstown have the chance to leapfrog both and go top of the table if they win the game in hand, which is on Wednesday. So providing there's no cup action, we've got GPR vs Samba as well, so we'll probably pick that up off stream and go from there. But we'll get into it, and we will start in Division 1 as always, but we're not going to start with Drumore this week because Mr. Megahorse is jumping in the shower. So we will start with the Updraft. We'll line up like this. Do changes. Meadow comes up front today. Prutton is in. Georgic is in. And Woodgate is also in. So we'll kick off their game away at Distillery and see how they get on. If the manager joins us at any point, then obviously we will wait for tactical changes. Meadows put the away side 1-0 up, and the Natties doubled the lead and 7 minutes in, and the Updraft look in cruise control. Robbie Keane heavily involved as he has been all season for the Updraft, again with a chance there. And looking pretty dominant for the home side, and as I say that, Robbie Keane has had a third. And we're approaching half time. The Updraft looks to have got this one wrapped up rather comfortably, which will please the manager no end, I'm sure. And we get to half time, nothing at all from the home side. 12 attempts, 7 on target for the Updraft. We've got goals from Donati, Robbie Keane and Meadow. A couple of assists for Bodan Georgic, making it only his third appearance of the season, but has impressed when he's played. Got no issues with any fitness, so we will continue on to 60 minutes. And Meadow has got his second of the game, makes it 4-0. And we get to 66 minutes. Jump across and have a look at the stats. Abubakar Yakubu with the assist for the 4th goal. Again, no fitness concerns, so we're no need to make any changes. And we'll run this one through to the end. And that is a 5th goal for the Updraft, scored by Landon Donovan. And a 5-0 win. Just the one shot from the home side. No shots on target, nothing for the goalkeeper to do for the Updraft. Ika Casillas has had a quiet evening. A 3rd assist for Georgic, who gets a 10 out of 10. Meadow also picks up a 10 for his 2 goals. But Robbie Keane, Landon Donovan and Donati with the other goals, and a comfortable win for the Updraft. So now we will jump across and play Cookstown, who have made wholesale changes because of some fitness concerns. Look at this, to Steven Gerrard. I think it's a full 11 change if I'm honest. Barry maybe keeps his place, moved to centre back, but apart from that, We might even have some players making a first appearance. Radoy and Cambiasso, I think, will be making debuts tonight, along with Paul Robinson in goal. Hopefully it won't upset the form and morale too much. But Cookstown away at Coleraine will kick it off. And Torres back in the side with a chance up front. Been started the season but not impressing. And Mutton has scored his 10th of the season, and Coleraine lead Cookstown 1-0. Good evening to Mr. Megahorse, who has joined us. And the wholesale changes don't look to have done Cookstown any favours. Despite the fitness concerns, they're not doing very well. But as I say that, Torres does have the ball in the net, but it's ruled out for offside, and they still trail 1-0. And we approach half time. Can they get an equaliser before the break? That would be beneficial, but we can't. Just the one shot from the home side, and it's hit the back of the net. 9 attempts without success for the home side. Gerard doing well, putting a lot of tackles in midfield. Apart from that, not a lot to shout home about. Fernando Torres having a stinking half, and he's going to be pulled off because he's really pissing me off. And we will see if we can get any joy through the second half. Be a real shame for Cookstown to lose that advantage of the game in hand by not winning this game, but as it stands, that is looking more likely. Marquinhos has got the equaliser on 58 minutes. And can Cookstown kick on now and get this one over the line? What do we do? What do we do? What we're going to do is we're going to take off Gareth Barry for John Welsh, and we're going to move him into midfield alongside Gonzalez. And see if that brings us any joy. 30 minutes to go. Cookstown throwing everything to try and get this winning goal. And as I say, that Marquinhos can't miss, and we have turned it around with an ultra attacking formation. Hopefully we don't concede, and Espinal has got a third and a fourth now. Marquinhos has got a hat-trick, and whilst it looked quite nervy for the first 45 minutes, the last half an hour has beared some fruit. Marquinhos has got a fourth, Cookstown have a sixth, and up until 58 minutes that looks incredibly uncomfortable for Cookstown, but we've blown the home side away in the last half an hour. 25 shots on goal, 17 on target. We have got 4 goals for Marquinhos, 2 goals and an assist for Espinal, an assist from the bench for Huntelaar. Welsh impressed from the bench as well. Gareth Barry not having the best of games at centre-back this evening. But relief, as Mr. Megahorse says, Cookstown boost their goal difference a little bit. And we will move on to Drumore, who line up like this. Brozek and Kodrea out for Kurt and Altintop from last time out, as Drumore host or travel to Glenavon. Kick this one off and see if they can make it 3 wins out of 3 for the big sides in the first division. And they've opened the scoring. Mark Kerr back in the side have made it 1-0 to Drumore. So we hit the 30-minute mark. Got an injury to Saeed. I would expect it to be a straight swap for Sorochinsky. Hopefully it's not too bad. Potential thigh injury. Condition on 55, so probably not the end of the world. Yep, another injury for Saeed. He's going to have to miss some games. He's been integral when he's played this season. 24 goal contributions in 26 games from defensive midfield. Mark, yeah, in defensive midfield, an awful lot. Myself, in the past, I think we just had a slight connection problem then, but we should be all back on up and running now without any drama. So we will get this game back underway and play it through to half time. And Kivu has scored from a corner. I think that was to double the lead for Drumore. And we get to half time. Just a one shot for the home side. 5 attempts free on target for Drumore. Assists coming from Alton Top and Joe Cole. No real concerns with fitness. Wouldn't expect to see any changes just yet, but we will wait and see. So we'll run it to 60 and we'll leave it on the stats. Other than know that is Dan's preference. Always forget. We're running towards 60 minutes now. We'll pause it there to see if we're going to get any changes for the last half an hour. So we're going to see Rovninko for Joko and Brozek come on for Alton. So all 3 subs used for Drumore for the first time in a long time, I would think. We'll run this through to from 60 to 90 and see how it plays out. Chance for the home side, but comes to nothing. Get this 77 minutes on the clock. Looking relatively comfortable for Drumore. Into approaching stoppage time. Oh, pushed away. Double chance for the home side, but again comes to nothing, and we get to full time, and it is a comfortable 2-0 win for Drumore. With the goals from Kerr and Kivu, assists from Alton Top and Joe Cole. 12 attempts, 6 on target, 5 attempts, 3 on target for the home side. Man of the match goes to John Montgomery for a solid defensive display. But yeah, 3 wins from 3 for the big teams in the first division. Now we're going to get to Portrush versus Glebe, which is manager Megahorse versus Megahorse. Glebe line up like this, which looks unchanged from last time out. And Portrush line up like this, which is Totti back in for Paul Scholes in attacking midfield. So we will get this one kicked off and see if Glebe can continue their improved form or if Portrush will be too strong for them. "30 minutes in, not a great deal happening so far. Glebe do look like they're in contention here and competitive at least as we approach half time. Into 48 minutes, stoppage time, we get to half time and it is 0-0. 5 attempts, 4 on target for the home side, 3 attempts, 1 on target for the away side. Look at the stats. We've got no issues with fitness. Kamana having a decent game in goals, 6s and 7s. Apart from that, across at Portrush, 7s and 6s with the exception of Baumer, who is doing an okay job from the left hand side. See if if Dan wants to make any changes for either side heading into the second half. If not, we'll run it to 60 and go from there. So both sides are going to play on. Put it on the player ratings because that is, again, just the horse's preference. And we will run it to 60 minutes to see if we get any goals. Heading towards 60 minutes now. Nothing yet. Vreesas with a chance, the league's top scorer, but it comes to nothing. Quick look at the stats for Dam so we can see what he's going to do from both sides. Balmer up to a 9, doing a decent job out wide. Paredes and Sol Campbell having over at Glebe. Again, the goalkeeper doing a decent job. 6s and 7s apart from that. I think Dan will be pleased with the performance. Maybe not so much the player ratings, but the performance from Glebe within the first 60 minutes against a much stronger outfit. And just how they have been performing of late, to be honest, much better. Both sides are going to play on again, so we're not going to see any changes in this match, barring any injuries. Run this one through to 90 minutes and see if we get any goals. Portrush coming forward, but we'll skip to 68 minutes. 76 minutes on the clock now, and we're into the last 10 minutes. Still nothing, but we have got a goal, and Vreesas, the league's top scorer, has, thankfully for Portrush, a little bit of relief, got them what looks like a 1-0 win, and they have seen it over the line. Not vintage from Portrush, but credit to Glebe for putting up a solid performance. 12 attempts, 7 on target, 7 attempts, 3 on target for Glebe. Man of the match goes to Hassan and Dai for a solid defensive performance. For Ron with the assist for Vreesas. Over at Glebe, it's 6s and 7s in terms of the match ratings, but the overall team performance was good from Glebe against a much stronger team, and I'm sure Dan will be pleased with that. Next, we're going to go to the big game of the evening. In fact, I'm going to wait for that because I think Mike might be about soon. If he is, please make yourself known. So we will go to that one. Let's go to Antrim against Ballycastle. We've got a change of shape for Antrim. 4-1-3-1-1. Prashad up front, Perlo in the hole, Dalmat, Reed and Deco in midfield. Hajek and Agostino wide. Deco coming up from the reserves. He's not fully fit, but he's going to play regardless. And across at Ballycastle, who have been impressive in spells this season. They look unchanged. We've got one change. Schmerton is in for there. So we'll kick this one off and see how it goes. And Preciado, first start I think, or if not for a long time, has opened the scoring for Antrim. "36 minutes on the clock. Preciado with another chance. Another good save from Wayside goalkeeper. And it looked like Antrim had the better of the first half. 7 attempts, 5 on target, 2 attempts without a shot on target for the away side. In terms of player ratings, we've got 6s and 7s, with the exception of Igmatoulan in the goal, who is doing a decent job for Ballycastle. We've got an assist for Dalmat Preciado, who comes in purely because Welsh and Andy Cole, who I had high hopes for both. Have been very underwhelming this season. Well, with the exception of Welsh in the Cup, but in the league it's been pretty shit. So we are going to go as is for now. So we'll go across to Ballycastle and see if they want to make any changes. Play on for now. So we will kick this one off. Let's see what the second half produces. We head towards 60 minutes. We're going to stop it there. Yellow card. Quick look at the stats of Ballycastle again. No real change. So one attempt second half for the away side. I'll leave Dan to have a ponder of that. We are going to take Deco off for fitness reasons and put Marajo on. And we will leave it. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to swap Perlo and Marajo. Let's see if we're going to get anything for Ballycastle. Samak for Titov. And Carvan for Berger. Are the two changes, and we'll see if that makes an impact. So 3 changes in all as we head into the last 30 minutes. Still looks like Antrim will put in the pressure on. I'm looking more likely. As I say that, I could say from Czech he couldn't hold it, but the rebound didn't go in. But Podres has scored the player of the season so far for Ballycastle, has produced again, and it's 1-1 going into stoppage time. And he's scored again on 90 minutes, doubled his tally, and Ballycastle with a late turnaround, 2 late goals, 3 attempts on target, all coming in the last 10 minutes. 11 attempts, 9 on target, but they just weren't clinical enough to put the game to bed at 1-0. And at 1-0, you are always at risk. A 5 for Petr Cech, who's not had a very good game, couldn't handle the pressure in the last 10 minutes. Nick Matulin has done an exceptional job to keep Ballycastle in the game going into the last 10 minutes. And Dimitri Podres continues his exceptional form. Carvan with an assist off the bench and a great turnaround win for Ballycastle. So next we will go to, let's go to, who are GPR playing? Okay, let's do Samba. Samba who line up like this. Is it unchanged? I think after an impressive cup performance last time out for Samba. The Leprechauns line up like this with a slight change in tactics. Matthias Dorsel comes in for his second appearance up front. Rooney also returns to the team. Fail. So let's see how this one pans out. Halfway through the first half without a goal yet. No great chances. Couple of corners, but apart from that, not a great deal to shout about in the first half. A couple of corners on the stroke of half time for Samba. The stats suggest that Samba were dominant. The text didn't really suggest that there was anything in that too dangerous. Over at Shillelagh's, Castellano having a decent game in goal, 6s and 7s apart from that. Samba and Seesaw doing a decent job in midfield. But what we're going to do is we're going to take off Falcao, who's just had the one touch, replace him with Recoba. And we're going to go from there. Couple of chances for Shillelaghs, but comes to nothing. Quick look at their condition, we've got no concerns. So we'll leave it a second while we go with Samba, see if the manager does arrive. If not, we will leave it for them. Solano is going to come off for Bobadilla, who is going to make his second appearance from the bench. And the manager is here just in time. So we're at 0-0. Shillelaghs away at Samba, and we're at 62 minute stoppages. This is how you are performing. Castellano having a decent game in goal. Melchiot with an 8. Samba with the majority of the chances. A little bit better in the second half for Shillelaghs. And now is your opportunity to try and make an impact. Okay, so that is all for both sides. So we'll see if we can get a goal or two in the last 30 minutes. Much better from Shillelaghs in the second half. We're heading into the last 10 minutes. Yellow card for Seesaw, and we're into the last few minutes, and nothing's happened. A ball draw. Sambo created the more chances. Melchiot picks up man of the match for a solid defensive display. Over at Samba, a few 8s in there. Not a great deal in terms of attacking threat, and not the best game of the evening. So we're going to go to Stout versus GPR. GPR line up like this. A few players not fully fit, but the manager is happy. And over at Stout, everybody is fully fit. A few changes from last time out. I can buy Samira Petrovic into the side or move into formation, position within the formation. So we'll kick this one off and see how it goes. Heading towards half time. No real chances. Oh, and as I say that, Alisson Samira on his debut has put Stout 1-0 up against GPR, who are having a really tough run of form at the moment after leading the table for the first 20 weeks on and off. But we'll get to half time. Stout have been the better side. Just a one attempt from GPR. And yeah, that is magic. It's a good performance. We'll just see if we want anything from GPR. So Stout are going to continue. We'll just see what the GPR manager wants to do, if anything. GPR manager says that his team has gone to shit and end the season already. Must make no changes at this stage. We're right through to 60 minutes. Constantinu has doubled the lead for Stout, and GPR really have gone to shit. Maybe it needs freshening up a little bit, and it's gone from bad to worse. It's an appalling performance from GPR. Bartes has been sent off. They don't have a keeper on the bench. And yeah, there's no coming back from this one, unfortunately, for GPR. We'll just wait and see who the manager wants to put in goal. And it's going to be Ruud van Nistelrooy. Constantino converts the penalty past the Dutchman. And yeah, on 60 minutes, last chance for managers to make personnel or tactical changes. But you would expect that this result is done. Wouldn't be surprised if we see something fresh from GPR in the coming weeks. Great squad. But just got a little bit stale over the last few weeks. See if Stout want to do anything. GPR is Ben's team. Yeah, he's not in the chat. He's just texting me. He is watching, but he's just not in the chat. He's some issue with his YouTube account. He can't use the chat for some reason, so he's just texting me his changes. Looking for Bosnich. Oh, Brugink. Bosnich up to striker centre. Oh. The Stout manager really looking to stick the knife in, putting a goalkeeper up front against a goalkeeper in goal. I'd like to think this one will just peter out without any more drama. And Collins has got a goal back. Consolation you would expect. Fortunately for GPR, they've not left themselves enough time. Their only shot on target in the match coming in the 87th minute. A 4 for Bartes, a 5 for Ronaldinho, 6s and 7s, a couple of 8s. Over at Stout, Constantino picks up one of the match for his 2 goals to transfer George Atos and Brugink with the assists. Now we'll go to the big game of the evening. We've got big time Belfast who line up like this. Boya in for Vieira, I think, is the only change. And over at the draft, we've got Larson out for Shevchenko. We'll see how this goes and how it impacts the top of the table. Nikiforenko scored his 15th goal of the season to open the scoring for Belfast. 34 minutes on the clock. Still Belfast looking the more likely. We've got an injury to Nesta. So I assume it's going to be Pat Soglu because there isn't really a defender anywhere further forward who could drop back. So I'll put that in and just await confirmation from the manager. Just an arrow to DMC if you can. Okay, we'll kick the this one back off. And we're heading towards half time. Is there any more action? There isn't. Just the one attempt from the home side. 3 attempts for Belfast, all on target. Harry Kewell assisting Nikiforenko for the opening goal. No fitness concerns, and it's going to be no changes for Belfast. And over at the draft, do you want to do anything at half time? I suspect not, with sub use for an injury so far already, but we shall see. What were the ratings? So we've got 8s for Carlos Schmeichel, Gianni Cheddar, 6s and 7s everybody else. Emerton and Maravicchia having a switcheroonie on the right hand side. Kick this one back off and run it to 60 minutes. And we've got an injury to Giggs, which is not ideal. I would assume it's definitely going to be Ortega. I would assume it'll be a switch with Rivaldo. With Rivaldo going out to the left. But again, I'll just await confirmation. And then I'll just have a look and do my I will do my 60-minute changes now and run it through, since there's no other option for you other than your goalkeeper on the bench. I'm going to leave it anyway. We'll run this one through to the end, see if we get any more goals, if the draft can get back into it, if Belfast can hold on. Delvecchio with a chance, Shevchenko with a chance at the other end, Rivaldo as well involved. Tight game between two big teams at the top of the division. Yellow card for Gianni Cheddar, who needs to be careful. Shevchenko with a chance and again involved. Gianni Cheddar involved heavily, yellow card. We head towards full time. Nikiforenko corner to Belfast at the death. And we get to full time. It's a big win for big time Belfast, who probably had the better of it. No attempts on target for draft. Really unlucky with injuries. Pat Soglu has come in and got a man of the match performance and done well, which the manager will be pleased about. Nesta on 61 fitness, not the end of the world. Ryan Giggs down on 22. Could be a little longer with a potential knee injury. Yet Peter Schmeichel has also had a good game. Decent performance from Belfast. Samuel picking up a 9 and a good win. That is it for this evening. Antrim lost to Ballycastle 2-1. Portrush 1, Glebe 0, Samba 0, Shillelagh's 0, Draft 0, Belfast 1 and Stout 3, GPR 1, which leaves the table looking like this. Belfast still 3 points clear of Portrush and a bit of a gap back now to the Draft and GPR, both of which lost this evening. Ballycastle, very impressive Ballycastle, move up into 5th place, level on points with Samba. Stout just a point back, and it's looking more like Shillelagh's and Antrim are in a two-way ding-dong for the relegation playoff spot, and Glebe are likely to finish bottom with 10 games to play. In the first division, Cookstown hit 6, most of which came in the last half an hour after a nervy first half. The updraft 5-0. There you go for the manager who may not have seen it. 2 goals for Mido, 1 for Keane, 1 for Donovan, and 1 for Donati. 3 assists for Georgic and 1 for Ikubu. Drumore 2, Glenavon 0. Leaves at the table looking like this: 65 Drumore, 64 the updraft, 64 Cookstown, who do have that game in hand, which is going to be played on Wednesday. And then over in the Premier Division, GPR will play Samba for their game in hand as well. Irish Cup in a couple of weeks. And then the next 4 round of fixtures will be what looks, the weekend, the following weekend. Antrim vs Stout, GPR vs Ballycastle, Portrush vs the Draft in a big fixture, Samba vs Belfast, Shillelagh's vs Glebe. And in the first division, we've got Cookstown, Drumore and the updraft, all with home fixtures against Distillery, Glentoran and Glenavon. So we'll leave it there for this evening. Thanks for joining. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll catch you all soon. Cheers.